My name is Rob Moore with 4D Business Group. This is your spotlight with
Dave Strash, president of the Kenosha Area Chamber of Commerce.
Get Excited. So I'm really excited to be able to be here to meet with you today. Tell me a little bit about yourself, who you are in the community, what some of your focuses are.
Well, Dave Strash, as I said, lifelong Kenoshan. In the community, we're just love being from Kenosha, live in Kenosha. I love everything about the town, and that's why this job is really not a job for me. This is just part of my daily experience. I love the Kenosha Area Chamber of Commerce and what we can do to improve our business-to-business relations as well as our consumer-to-business relations. I have a wife and 4 kids who work and go to school in the area, and wouldn't change a thing.
That is exciting. So you're native here, so you were born and raised.
Yes, sir.
What side of town?
North side.
North side, okay.
Nothing against the south side, but north side, is probably the better side. No, I'm just kidding.
It's the better side. All right.
A little known fact about me that I'm not embarrassed to say, but people might think I live under a rock. My current home is 2 blocks west of 22nd Avenue, so I'm on 24th Avenue. That is the furthest away I've lived from Lake Michigan in my entire life.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yeah. I'm actually west of 22nd Avenue.
Get out of here. So you were one of those guys that got up in the morning, you said, you know what, today's a good day, I'm going to jump in the lake?
No, I've jumped in the lake at all different times of the year.
Are you a good swimmer, or?
Sure. I won't drown. I'm not a competitive swimmer, but I won't drown. I've jumped in on New Year's Day. I've jumped in late April, which is, I'll tell you, is just about as cold as New Year's Day.
Really?
The water, that is. And I've swam in that lake a gazillion times in the summer over my lifetime. So, yeah.
That's crazy. We just had this polar plunge. I think it was canceled or whatnot, but we had people still running in the lake.
Went in, yeah.
And went in there or whatnot. I know Illinois, they went in. I think they still kept theirs or whatnot. But yeah, that's something. I've never done that.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll have to try that or whatnot before I die. It's not even on my bucket list, to be honest.
You should give it a shot. It hurts, but that warm shower after, you've never taken a better shower in your life.
You're like, yes.
Never in your life have you taken a better shower. And then you got bragging rights. Yeah, I jumped in the lake on New Year's Day.
Bragging rights. Yeah, it's like, you know what? Have you ever done that?
Yeah.
Well, hey, I did. So it's over. So along with that, so you live furthest from the lake on 24th Avenue.
Right.
And you've been a Kenosha native all your life. Tell me a little bit about what inspired you to get to this point where you are now. How did this happen, I guess, with becoming the president and CEO of Kenosha area?
Yeah. It's a easy story. And it starts out a little selfish, in that, my job's been selling, most of my life has been selling advertising, to businesses. So business to business sales, and most of it in advertising.
Right. And,
per recommendation of one of my supervisors way back when, I think we're talking like 1990 or something like that, I should join this arm of the chamber called the Kenosha Retail Association.
Okay.
So I did, and I contributed. It wasn't just sit back and hopefully good things happen to me. I contributed as I would to anything I belonged to, but it did benefit me because I was working with people that I wanted to talk to anyways for my job. And then that morphed into becoming an ambassador, which Mr. Moore here is, he makes me call him Mr. Moore. Most of you can call him Rob. I became an ambassador, which opened the door to more people that I wanted to talk to anyways.
Yeah.
And then because I did, worked with the ambassadors, I put in my time. Again, I wasn't just sitting back and trying to reap the benefits. They invited me to join the board of directors. And so I did that. And now that isn't the normal progression to becoming the president and CEO. It just happened to work out that way this time. They did a regional search for candidates. Other people were interviewed, but I was the one they ended up hiring. And it was a no-brainer for me. I knew I wanted the position, and I knew the direction the chamber wanted to go, and I knew what things I wanted, where I wanted to take it, or hopefully take it. And so since September 1 of 2021, that person, and I have a great staff and great ambassadors, and we're gonna keep the train rolling.
That is super exciting.
Yeah.
So, were you, I mean, for lack of better words, laser beam focused on some of your goals and ambitions, or did they just kind of just all happen
for becoming this position?
Just for your goals on what you were focused on in life, or I guess
yes and no. I mean, I always say I was cursed to be good in sales because I still get nervous, butterflies for moments like this.
Sure.
I get butterflies before I go and present a joint becoming a member, or maybe selling a member a sponsorship package, because it's a sales call, right?
Right.
And I respect the people I'm talking to. So I call it healthy nervousness. I figure if I'm not nervous, then I'm just cocky, right? I'm just like, hey, you should do this. And it's like, no, I need to tell them why this is a good idea, right?
Yeah.
And so I always say I'm cursed to be good in sales, because I don't know if anybody really enjoys getting them butterflies, but I've gotten more and more used to it. It's just part of the deal. But I'm not like, oh boy, there's those butterflies again.
Oh man.
So laser focused on goals. Yes, I want to be successful. I want to help those who I'm selling to. But career direction, I didn't know I was going to end up here. Mm-hmm. I think it just happened to work out that way. Okay. But otherwise, I was just trying to do the best I could wherever I was employed. So
that is amazing. That's amazing. So I know you have your family. You're all about your family, wife, your kids, or whatnot. You have some in college and some in high school or whatever.
Two in college, two in high school. Yep.
Okay.
A senior in college, sophomore, junior in high school, freshman in high school.
Wow, that's amazing. That's always
never a dull moment at our household.
Oh man, I bet you there's always some kind of function going on. Like for me, I know that I have band going on, and then I have wrestling, and then sometimes boxing and things of that nature or whatnot. Right. Is that the same thing for you?
Yeah, we're baseball, bowling. My daughter is a musician and a singer, so she was in drama.
Drama's fun.
Yeah, and then. My youngest is a techie. He's gonna make a difference in the world someday with some technological advance. I just know it. So we have things to go to all the time. They're all musically talented, and so we're constantly going to band concerts or jazz band concerts.
There you go.
Or things at our church and things like that. So,
what keeps your drive going? Because some people get that drive, and then all of a sudden you get lackadaisical, or there's procrastination there, which I think everybody kind of deals with.
Yeah, I deal with that too. I mean, it's a natural reaction, but I don't want to let anybody down.
Sure.
So there's one of my drives. It isn't necessarily I want to be a ego, or I want to be a hero, or I want to be a millionaire.
Okay.
We all want to be millionaires, but I'm not trying to lay a path to where, if I sell this much of this, I'll get there. If it happens, great.
Sure.
I report to a board, so I want the board to be happy with me.
Gotcha.
And when I say me, I mean us, the chamber, because I don't do it alone. I have a great staff, and I just want to deliver on what I say I'm going to deliver on. Sure. Otherwise, I feel like I let somebody down, and maybe the trust level isn't there anymore. And I don't want that. I don't want that feeling. So
yeah, that's hard, man. Because sometimes you can do it unintentionally, but I think intentionality is what I've been talking about for the last couple of interviews that I've done with your spotlight with 4D Business Group, and I've seen intentionality has been really, really key to a lot of the leaders that I've talked to in the community's success. And making sure that you have standards and you have boundaries for yourself.
Right. Absolutely.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that?
100%. And I guess that's what I mean. And not wanting to let people down. And so I run through lackadaisical times, or like, oh, that's right, it's Monday again, or whatever. But there's a job to be done, and I enjoy the job. So we just and I've got to report to people. And I want the report to be easy, not hard.
Okay.
Know? And now failures can happen, but intentionality you referred to. If the failure wasn't intentional, it happened because of reasons A, B, and C. It's easier for the board or whoever I'm reporting to swallow than if I'm like, well, I just completely forgot to do this. You know, that's different. That's lackadaisical.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. So that ain't ever. As far as I can tell you, that's never going to happen. You know, I'm not going to be that. You know, that won't happen. But could we try something and it doesn't work out all that well? Sure. You know, but you got to take risks too. You know. So. One of our biggest events is the expo, and I know one year in particular was I will never say failure because it was successful for the chamber.
Okay.
But day 2 of the expo was wiped out by a storm that never actually happened.
Oh, wow.
It was supposed to be Stormageddon. It's actually my youngest. I didn't attend that Sunday because my youngest was born at 2 a.m. between Saturday and Sunday. It was supposed to be Stormageddon. We ended up getting 2 inches of slush. But the weather people had done their job of warning people that this was it. And our attendance Sunday was definitely lower.
Okay.
We had people there. But the aftermath was, yeah, well, I don't know, is the expo losing its luster and things like that? No, it was the weather.
It was the weather.
Caused it. Saturday was great. Sunday wasn't as good as it should be.
Yeah.
And people still did business. People still had success stories. We've had the expo ever since. But it took a hit, so that's uncontrollable, right?
Yeah,
I mean, nobody can predict when the weather is going to
100%.
strike you or something like that's going to strike you. So, you know, so
well, it seems like that's exactly the way it goes. I think with that being said, sometimes we can't control the things that are going around us or whatnot, but we can't have those things as excuses to stop us.
100%. That's why we went right back to the next year. And those who were naysayers, we said, listen, we talked it out with them. And did they actually do business last year? And if not, how come do you think? Why? Is it only because of the lower attendance, or what happened Saturday? Attendance Saturday was probably about our norm, Why didn't Saturday go well for you? And really, at the end of the day, most everybody re-up for having a booth at Expo. They know it's a valuable event. And we're just picking one thing out of the barrel,
Yeah.
But that's just an example of an uncontrollable circumstance can derail what should be a successful project, event, whatever.
That's something to be said about. So, what would you say would be maybe the top couple things, or it can be long, it can be short, that would help a person in a situation when they get derailed from whatever set goal?
Well, remaining positive, and again, not setting it up as an excuse. But if it's a legit reason, it's a legit reason. I don't think that that's an excuse. An excuse would be, I can't even come up with a good one. Where you just kind of make something up. That's an excuse. Or so and so, miss the alarm clock, or whatever. So just remaining positive and making lemonade out of lemons I've said this. Here's a common. I don't mean to keep going back to Expo, but here's a common thing we hear probably a couple times a year. There's a lot of people who are only looking for free things, but they would also be the ones who would complain about if attendance was low. And so my retort to that, and not in an argumentative way, is, what if I eliminated those people who are only looking for free things somehow, but then attendance was only 25% of what it is now, but you did the same amount of business? Would you be happy, or would you say, but attendance was so much lower, I could have done so much more business if more people had been here? But maybe those people are the ones who are looking for, are you giving out free pens, or are you, and that happens. People do that. That's why we have the expo. It's open to everybody. You're going to get everybody there. It's every walk of life. And some people just admittedly are not going to be your customers. Who knows? Maybe 6 months down the road, a year down the road, they are your customers all of a sudden. And then you are going to get, our bet is you will get business out of the expo by just being there,
That's a great point. Not to cut you off, but that's a great point. Being able to point out the right question to maybe a disagreement or, you know, a repositioning instead of being argumentative, like you said.
Right. And not
asking
throwing
the
them
right
under the
question.
bus. Not like you didn't do your job.
And being
But like,
amicable.
yeah, like, but wait, you know, if we brought you customers, how many do you need? So maybe, you know, if we brought 4D, 20 customers, you know, I'm just saying, or 5, let's go lower, let's go 5 customers.
Sure, yeah.
And you said, that's great, that's all I needed out of this. I can't handle more than 5.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what if those 5 customers were the only 5 to walk through the door? You'd be like,
right,
this expo is horrible. There's only 5, but you got the 5 customers out of it, right? You know, so it's actually, what do you care?
This is great.
If we got 5,000 or 5, right? You know, I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's perspective, I guess. Perspective has to. You have to bring everybody back to a square one perspective of what were we trying to get out of this? Is attendance more important than leads? Is, you know, so on and so forth. So
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Perspective is definitely key. So sometimes people may not see perspective until they may be asked the right questions,
Right.
or maybe, you know, they have to have more information to it, because sometimes you can be so laser beam focused,
right?
Right?
You're not really seeing the whole.
That you're not seeing everything on the side because you have your blinders on.
Right.
Tell everyone else who may not know what the chamber, you know, is really used for.
Okay.
What is your function here in Kenosha, or what do you do for the community?
Okay, so the chamber is in a nutshell, is a business organization, a membership business organization and we try to provide member benefits, meaning that we provide a value to you wanting to be a member and willing to pay the membership price. You know, which is money. That's how we stay in business. We're not funded by any outside groups or any governmental affairs. So we solely exist on our membership base.
Okay.
So, but we have to make it worthwhile. We have to make it worth it for 4D to be a member, right? So that's our main focus. But then many of our members, not all of them, many are business to business. So we try to create events and value in having business A meet business B and maybe do business together. But then we're also trying to bring the public out to our member businesses, especially those who cater to, they need John Key Public as a customer. And that's what Expo is, going back to that. But then we have a business to business Expo. So the guy who sells advertising can have a booth there, and then hopefully a 4D would show up and see what businesses offer other businesses in the area. And then our give back to the community is through our foundation. We give away a minimum of 4 $2,500 scholarships annually to graduating high school seniors within the city and county. Any graduating senior can apply so long as their parent owns or works for one of our 685 members. So that's a member perk. You know.
So it kind of circles back on that. So you're giving back to the community, also being part of that chamber.
Yes.
You're able to have a little bit of those benefits because you know, and then that helps out because we're talking about, you know, everybody who has connections, you know, is donating whatever said money to scholarships. That's huge. That's amazing.
Yep. So that's that's our main give back. We have a leadership Kenosha program, educational program, trying to develop tomorrow's leaders today. And it's through the chamber, but it's handled by 2 instructors from Parkside, and they meet once a month. And I think we're having our 21st graduating class this summer, and then our next school year starts just like the regular school year. It starts next fall, but we'll start recruiting attendees or students coming up here in the spring for next fall semester.
Oh, that's nice. That's exciting.
Yeah. And we've had people graduate from there and improve their standing with their current business, or they've moved on to other businesses on a higher level. They maybe have left the area, but we hope they stay here, obviously, because it benefits our area.
Right.
But we also know that if they go places, St. Louis, I think, is one example, Milwaukee, Chicago, They know they acquired that extra leadership skills from Kenosha and the Kenosha Area Chamber of Commerce and Leadership Kenosha. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Talking about Leadership of Kenosha, that's a huge program. A lot of people may not know about, but I think that it's important to know and understand how leadership works, so you can use it in your life, also your business. If you're starting a business, or you're going to get into leadership, or you're already in leadership.
Yep.
When I talk a little bit about that with Leadership Kenosha, if you.
Well, I covered a lot of it just right there in general.
Sure.
I don't have like curriculum specifics I can throw out there, but I mean, it's all designed around training you to lead. There's a lot of team building exercises involved.
Sure.
It isn't just this is how you lead, with a teacher writing on a chalkboard.
Yeah.
There's activities and retreats and things that they go to that, again, is facilitated. That was the word I was looking for before, by two instructors from Parkside. And again, it's all centered around training people to, a common one is someone who just became a manager within the company or whatever. This is a helpful step in how to lead your staff to do what they're directed to do, and so on and so forth. So,
and it also talks about different I guess functions in such as the municipal building.
They go around
government.
to. Thank you. They go around to. There's a day where they learn all about our city and county government. There's a day where they spend out on a farm. There's an agricultural side,
right.
And how a farmer needs to be a leader to make that operation run. They go and visit places, businesses in the corporate park. They visit locally owned and operated businesses and things like that. So those are some of the group activities besides classroom work. And again, then there's group training, kind of the old trust fall kind of thing, the ropes course, where you need your partner to successfully get through this. So that helps train a leader to, then you go back to your staff. Now you can use some of that to, how do we work as a team? It isn't just me directing you guys. We got this project to work on. We're going to work as a team to make this happen now. It's those kind of training skills, Yeah.
Tell me a unique story that inspired you for doing your service work in your community today.
A unique story that inspired me to do my community. I'll go to our scholarships. I was on the scholarship committee.
Sure.
Way back, when I've been on various committees with the chamber over the years when I volunteered and did things with them. And I was on the scholarship committee, and that's a rewarding committee to be on.
Yeah.
Our future is very bright. One of them was a person, and I can't remember her ethnicity. I want to say Arab, though. I want to say she wore she didn't have to cover her face, but she always wore a head. Okay, and but her story in life was incredible. What her family had gone through, and that wasn't the basis for giving her a scholarship. We found that out kind of after the fact. When we awarded her, based on what our criteria was,
sure,
it was a no-brainer to award her the scholarship.
Okay.
But when we had made that announcement, I mean, the tears flowed, and then we heard about her family history. It's a great story, but just how hard her parents had worked.
Right.
This was the old first person they get to go to college now, and how far this money was going to go and further her life and her families, how proud and all that. And so that inspires you to, it's an easy story to now go tell, like if someone's debating on whether to spend the $20 on raffle tickets, and if you have a second to quick tell that story, it's like, this $20 is more valuable than you understand. You have a chance to win these prizes, A, but B, whether you win a prize or not, your $20 is a huge investment, in somebody's life, and that award's gone to people whose families maybe don't need the help, but hey, the kid earned it and deserved it. And it's gone to families that this is like, it isn't $2,500, this is like $1 million to them. This is like huge. And
helping the family out.
And but again, it's all the same criteria. They have to write an essay based on certain subjects and things, and then they have to provide their school not report card, but I forget the word I'm looking for, but more or less their school records.
Okay.
And again, then they have to prove that they themselves, their parents, will let an aunt, like an aunt or an uncle. We want more kids to be able to be eligible, so we don't want to be too strict. But the bottom line is you have to have a tie to a member of the chamber.
Gotcha. Understood. So
they have to meet all those first, and then they're awarded. But then many times we hear some of the background stories, and it's incredible. So.
That story as well, talking about Snap-on.
Oh yeah.
Coming a part of this, and when I'm having some of the transcripts or documents or whatever.
Right, way back in the day, I think it was 1929. I could be getting it wrong, but we do actually have the minutes from the meetings back then. And Snap-on actually told me about it after I got hired. That if it weren't for the Kenosha Area Chamber of Commerce, Snap-on would not be located in Kenosha. It might be located close to Kenosha, but it probably would have been. It either would have remained in Milwaukee or was thinking of moving to Chicago or Chicago's suburb. And the chamber was able to help facilitate and sell them on Kenosha, and was able to convince the mayor and the city council at the time to reroute, I want to say was the correct way, the railroad tracks closer to their facility, because that was a key back then. That was a huge deal to get their product heading out to various parts of the country.
Right. Understood.
And so the city agreed to do that, and that allowed Snap-on to make Kenosha their home, and it's been their home ever since, and has employed hundreds, if not thousands, of families and helped build this town. So we're forever grateful for them to always being a generous partner with the chamber, but to them it's still a note. They have never forgotten their history. They have a museum there and everything, and that is fascinating to see how their company's grown over the years. And they have never forgotten that the Kenosha Area Chamber of Commerce was instrumental in getting them here. So
that is amazing.
So that's will we ever have another situation like that? It's hard to say, but that's what we try to do. Sure. Maybe not to that scale, but we try to keep Kenosha area businesses thriving in Kenosha. It's beneficial to every one of our citizens that we have a thriving business base in this town. So, in our county as well. I don't want to forget the county. We are the chamber for the entire Kenosha County as well. Village of Pleasant Prairie, west, the commonly referred to as west of the I, and Summers, and all the townships in between. So that's another one of our jobs, is to make them feel that we are their chamber as well. So.
I don't think this would happen, but what if the chamber didn't exist for the last 5 years? What do you think would happen?
Well, I mean, the city would be fine, and businesses would continue to thrive, but maybe not as much, or another organization might come about, but I don't know that they would have. I'm not slamming any other organization that wants to develop themselves, but they may not have their act together like we have our act together, because we've been doing it for 105 years. Yeah. Now, in saying that, we don't rest on our laurels. We're trying to continually redevelop with the times and modernizations and things like that. And so on one hand, if I were gone tomorrow, I'd like to think I'm not replaceable, but I'm very replaceable. So is any member of my staff. So is any employee at any given business anywhere. We all feel like we can't be replaced because I do such a good job and that's not. But the truth is, there might be a minor setback, but you'd be replaced. And things would go on. And so therefore, I think the chamber, if it went out of business, something would come about. But I think there would be a definite lull. It would be noticed in the business community that we no longer exist. And there's no central hub of, we provide information as we get it. We communicate business A to business B, and sometimes 40 business A's to 40 business B's with things that are going on. that the communication, that gap would be huge. It'd be a huge.
What special events do you have coming up within the next couple months, or something that we need to look out for?
Okay, we have our expo
Okay.
that we referenced quite a bit earlier, and that's March 12th and 13th, Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
It's going to be at the Petretti Fieldhouse at UW Parkside,
Nice.
and 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. both days. And it isn't full quite yet, but it will be sooner than later. All of our booths will be rented, and it's just a showcase of many of the businesses and services provided here in Kenosha. So we'd love to have as many of our citizenry there, our public there, and hopefully we have it sold out with booths, and it should be a good day.
You have a really down to earth personality. You talk to everybody. You joke with them, but you also have that respect from everybody in the community. Everyone respects you as well. As a great business leader in our community.
Well, I appreciate that. I hope so, and I respect each and every person I talk to.
Sure.
I joke with them, but that's just to put them at ease.
Yeah,
and it also helps put me at ease.
It does.
Get rid of them butterflies.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that happens with me whenever I speak or whenever I've spoken in the past. You get those really crazy butterflies. So what happens with me, instead of them going away, they kind of stay there, but then you just kind of ride that wave, and you're like,
Yeah.
What am I here? We did talk about Mo, Curly, and Larry. I thought that was awesome. We were talking about them. For those of you who don't know who that is, that's the Three Stooges. So I know I grew up on the Three Stooges. I used to watch them, I think it was every Sunday night or something like that. I used to watch them religiously with me and my dad, my brother, and my sister. My mom would watch it sometimes. She's like, oh, that's crazy. They're poking you in the eye. They're doing some things that aren't conventional. Story about you went to see them here in Kenosha.
Yeah, when I was a kid. I was a junior banker with what was called First National Bank of Kenosha, and one of the perks of being a junior banker is there was a day at the a kids banker day at the back then it was called the Lake Theater. Now it's called the Rhode Opera House, and so it was a day filled with like a mini carnival, and you got popcorn and soda or whatever. And then I think we watched some cartoons on the theater screen, but then the Three Stooges were much older. It was towards the end of their career, but they were actually there performing some of their on stage humor, and Curly had passed, but Mo and Larry were there, as well as I think his name was Curly Joe. So that was a treat just to get to actually see him live, and they were good guys. So they reminded me. My dad never did the physical humor, but my dad was one of the funniest guys I've ever known in my entire life, and the king of the one-liner, and so that's where my love of humor comes from, is from my dad. So
that's awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, dads are so important.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, moms are definitely really important too.
Way more important. Don't kid yourself.
They're way more loved.
Dads have their part. Yeah.
They're way more loved, and I think that there's nothing that can replace a mother's love.
No.
That mother's love is like, it can't be computable. But our dads, at the same time, I mean, there's
huge role.
That's there.
Huge role. Yeah.
As I talk about different questions or ask questions that are kind of make you think just a little bit.
Put people on the spot.
On the spot just a little bit. But I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to ask you. Besides, I can say, here's one right here. You have in front of you. So I asked for you to wash all the windows in Seattle, Washington. What do you what do you charge?
All the windows in Seattle? And everything? I mean,
all the windows.
All the windows.
There's no Seattle, right or wrong answer. Yeah. What do you charge?
Obviously, I put thought and effort into it, but off the top of my head, that's $1 million job.
That's $1 million job.
Yeah.
I like that.
To wash every window in Seattle.
That's awesome.
It's a big city.
That is a huge city.
Yeah, I don't know how long it would take. $1 million might not be enough, or I might be overcharging. But just off the top of my head, that's $1 million.
I like that. I would say that the way that I broke it down, or the way that I seen it broke down, is that you have, let's say that you have 10,000 city blocks, and then on each one of those blocks, I think there was like 1,000 windows or however many windows, and then you see how many windows there are, and then you charge $5 per window or whatever it was, and then you get millions of dollars. I think it's like over $5 million or something of that nature.
Yeah, see, I think I was
crazy stuff.
I think I was more, because I think $5 a window that's kind of steep.
Is that, oh really?
Yeah, no, I think, well, but I mean,
that's a big
using your
window.
math just now, I think I'm coming in about $1 a window. I think that's a pretty good deal.
Hey guys,
That's a pretty good deal. You need a window washer. I guess I'm your guy for $1 a window. Large or small though, if it's this big, it's still $1. If it's $1.
I love that. I love that question. So after this interview, lunch is about to be here, or whatever have you. We pack up. I leave. You walk outside. You find an unsigned ticket for $10 million. What do you do?
I return
And
it. I return it.
You return. Well, you see an unsigned ticket for $10 million.
Like a lottery ticket.
There's a lottery ticket, and you saw the numbers hit. You said you would.
I would return it.
Okay. Tell me why.
I would have a hard time sleeping the rest of my life knowing that I took it from somebody. I just couldn't do it. I would not. I would not hold my hand out for a reward. I probably would be disappointed if the person the rightful owner got it back. He doesn't owe me anything, but I probably would be disappointed if there wasn't like a little stipend of hey, thank you so much kind of thing, and
there you go.
Here's a little something for you. But that would take care of itself, and if he or she didn't do anything,
yeah,
I wouldn't complain. And then and that's really my driving force. So I'm going to throw one thing in.
Sure, yeah. Do it.
No. But I mean, I don't want people to think, oh, well, there's why. But in this modern day and age, too.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of would consider that cheating. I found the ticket, and I'm going to go cash it in.
Yeah, you put your name.
And I think I do think cheaters never prosper. I don't want to cheat.
I like that.
You're right.
Yeah.
So I also think Rob Moore bought that ticket at Lou Perini's. Lou Perini's has cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
For that purchase.
Yeah.
You go, no. That was my ticket. I was there.
Exactly.
And they eventually find out that Dave Strash is not the most honest person in the world, and he tried to claim that ticket that was Rob Moore's.
I love that.
But my real honest to God driving force is my conscience, because I would be sick to my stomach and couldn't sleep the rest of my life.
That's huge. Yeah, that's huge. That's called integrity, guys.
You're gonna be asked to do interviews and things, and I'm like, I bought the ticket. Where'd you buy it? Oh, I bought it over at the.
I actually found it.
I just, the lie would have to continue and continue.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
continue. Even for $10 million, I'm not taking my chances.
Your reputation, you have to guard it with everything that you have. Because, at the end of the day, when you lose that, it's hard to build that back up. I know I learned that as a kid. When I was a kid, I did some things. I'm like, I said, I'll never do that again, becoming an adult. I said, I have like a new fresh start. Right. I'm 18 years old. So that's exciting. So, real quick story. So my father, he went to Jewel Osco, and he found $600 in a bank envelope. $600 in a bank envelope. Cash money. And he could have took it or whatever. So what he did is he went down to the police station, and they put an ad out or whatever in the paper for wherever we lived at. And I think they held it for like 2 weeks or so. And then if nobody claimed it, then they give him back or whatever like that to him. And you're like, are you sure? And then they gave it to him or whatnot. But I thought that was awesome.
Perfect.
I think that's perfect for what you're saying.
Yeah.
Is that not doing that because you don't know who bought the ticket. You're claiming it. It's not even yours, and so on. So it takes a lot of integrity, to focus on that.
Because $10 million. Come on, all of us want $10 million. 600. All of us want 600, and 600 cash is nobody would even know.
Yeah.
So that's a high integrity level. I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
But cash, I'm just making the point that cash would even be easier.
Yeah. It would.
Modern day, there might be camera on or whatever, but at that point, are you actually a criminal? If you you pick up money on the street and you put it in your pocket. I don't know. I don't even know what the laws are. But I know, consciously speaking, I would feel like I would probably do the same thing your dad.
Yeah.
Either the police department or the store itself. I found this on the floor.
Yeah.
Do you have cameras? Somebody's going to be coming back looking for this.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine they're not coming back to look for this, kind of thing. So.
Yeah, that was something, man. So, well, I really appreciate you interviewing with me. I think we're at our close or whatnot. Is there anything that you would like to say to our audience to maybe inspire them for the days, the years coming up into their lives and whatnot? You give an inspirational, maybe something, a little tad bit of something.
Talk about being put on the spot. I don't know. I'm not a motivational speaker. All I can tell you is that from the Chamber of Commerce perspective, we're the entire Kenosha City and County Chamber. And yes, we're a business member organization, but we serve the entire community. That means all of us as consumers as well. So we're your chamber as well. If you're a consumer, you're not a business owner or a manager or whatever of one of our members. That doesn't matter. We feel that we want to serve you as well. So we're your chamber, and call us on the carpet. If you don't think we're doing something right, let us know.
Love it.
We'll either explain why we do things the way we do things, or maybe it'll open our eyes to, well, maybe we need to make a change in that area. It's hard to say, change sometimes comes slowly. Sometimes change happens overnight. So, I don't really have a motivational speech.
There you go. It's okay. That was good.
But the chamber's here for our members and for our community.
I love it, man.
And I appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you.
With Mr. Rob Moore. 4D Communications.
4D Business Group.
4D Business Group. I knew that. Just wanted to make sure he remembered.
Hey, man, thank you so much. I really appreciate you all day.
I mean, Mr. Moore.
Mr. Moore. Hey, that's funny. But yeah, thank you so much for letting me come in your office and interview you and talk to you a little bit more, and then have the community kind of see exactly where you're coming from, and then some other viewers that may not be in this community too. So thank you again. Have a good day. Enjoy, and we'll talk to you guys later. For more videos, make sure you guys like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and share it with some friends. All right, guys, you guys have a great day. We'll talk to you guys later.